Hey everybody, it's February 9th for another episode of the Diary 2025. I don't know how long I'll be doing these. Um yeah, so I just say this last week has been overall just a very positive week. Um I had a content piece that I recorded for Team Liquid on Friday, ended up being way more exhausting than I anticipated. So I had a bit of work burnout this week, but from all in all, that's like the only real negative I can think of. Um, I think the main focus for this week has been I've kind of known for a while that I didn't have like a proper hobby, something that I was simply trying to get better at for the sake of getting better. Um, that really had, I call it, has like no weight on my life, like whether or not I fail or succeed or whatever my rate of improvement is just doesn't affect me in other regards to my life. It's just a very isolated, fun endeavor. And I've been looking for that for a while. And a lot of the time, it's just been, I don't want this to be like a super high effort thing. And a lot of the logistics around what I was looking at just wasn't really working out. And I've actually come to the conclusion that the thing I want it to be is bowling, actually. Um, so putting little things in place, trying to set up a plan for when I get back, because I leave for Dream League this week. So I'll be gone for pretty much the rest of February. So when I get back in March, um, yeah, kind of setting myself up to have um, a little bit of a weekly routine, maybe like one night a week or something, where I go bowling maybe once every 2 weeks minimum. And for a long time, I've never curved the ball, and I know all the professionals curve the ball. So last time I went, I decided to watch like a YouTube tutorial to watch how to curve the ball, and I learned pretty decently how to curve the ball, at least like a super light ball. And that's something I'd like to expand upon. So it's something that just kind of makes me smile and think that'll be fun. And I look forward to next time I get to do it. So that's one positive. Looking towards the future, I feel like when I'm in a good headspace, I am able to more so clearly plan for the future, look into the future. One thing I realized a little while back is that the more stressful it feels to look forward in life, that usually means I'm under more duress in my life, and anxiety and anything like that. So I'm almost able to know exactly how good of a headspace I'm in at every given moment based on how far into the future I'm willing to look. I also am not the type of person that really looks past like a year into the future in general. Like I don't find benefits. Maybe I'll change that perspective, or maybe I'll learn something new. But um, I'm talking about the difference between like looking a few days into the future and looking like a year into the future, or like a few months kind of thing. Or at least even like doing things now that I know are not going to be great right now. They're not going to feel good. For instance, like yoga when you just start out, but knowing I'll feel better in the future. That's like an example I would consider of planning for the future. And when I'm in like a healthier perspective, like I'd say I am right now, I'm much better at doing these type of things, and seeing like the long-term payoffs and not fixating on the shorter term relief or immediate instant gratification. So one of the things that was mentioned to me on my stream this week was talking about building a bit more of a community in Dota, maybe extending to other games eventually, but a more of a community in Dota. That I talk about having viewers, that a lot of viewers seem to be complaining about, or expressing concern with just the toxicity of matchmaking. I don't think this is any news to anyone. And so something I wanted to do was like, I'm like, I would love to have a community that fosters and encourages people to party up for ranked matchmaking and take Dota like, relatively try hard, no matter what rank you are. It doesn't have to be professional level. So yeah, that topic came up this week in my stream, and so I feel like one healthy thing I've started doing when I go off to events like Dream League, especially like the longer ones, like the 2 or 3 week long ones, is that I started kind of thinking like, what's something that I'm not currently doing in my life that is like status quo, because this is like my normal routine, that I would like to incorporate. And those are the two things: bowling and some semblance of like one or two like viewer games potentially. I don't want to make any promises because I have to kind of think about it a bit more, but something that encourages people in my community to play together and party up. And I think it's going to start with me getting involved. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. In the past, I've been pretty hesitant about doing any sort of viewer games, because I also didn't really see any benefit to it. But now for me, it seems pretty clear, because it obviously has to benefit me in some way too. Like I have to feel like it matters for some reason, and building a healthy, happy community around me definitely matters to me. So, that sounds great. And I know don't sound enthusiastic, but I'm also just pensive about it. It's kind of like I don't generally get excited about things until they're happening. That's just not really how my brain thinks, I guess. But it is exciting, but I'm just not excited yet, I guess you could say. It's funny because I feel like there's just not too much to report on this week, for future Brian as well, because life just seems good, honestly. I'm going to the gym the 4 days a week that I said I was going to go. I did yoga 6 times this week. I feel like I didn't even have to try. Like I just woke up every morning pretty much, except for one, with the assumption like I'm doing yoga today. And that's like a huge deal for me. I'm doing like 10 to 15 minutes of yoga every single day. Working mainly on my hips because they're pretty bad from sitting in a chair every day, all day, every day. I've still got my journal. I'm writing more and more in it. I've decided that rather than maybe writing in my journal in the morning, that a nice thing to do, or writing in the journal in the morning about like prepping for my day, it's also great to write in my journal in the morning, talking about the previous day. So like if, Saturday I had my day, Sunday I wake up and I write in my journal the things I thought about / did on Saturday. That seems to be something that sounds nice to me. I've done it a couple times now. It's a little bit of a different approach to what I was doing with my journal, which was attempting to either do it at night or something like this. But I'm kind of finding that my brain, I want to have like a specific, my brain wants to be on all the time, and I also know that's not good. Like I don't want my brain to be on all the time, and I also think it takes a lot of willpower and energy to dictate or to like turn your brain on and off. Like I feel like once your brain's on, it goes. Once your brain's off, it's cruising. But to go from one to the other, it takes like specific transitional methods, I feel like, to relax yourself from work mode / productive mode to nothing mode. And it takes a lot of inertia and willpower to go from nothing mode to productive mode. And for me, it just seems so obvious now that I just want to have like a hard cutoff in my day where I start my day in productive mode. So the transition from not productive to productive is through sleeping, which is nice because I feel refreshed afterwards. And I wake up in the morning and I do all these things like yoga, writing in my journal, grabbing a coffee, potentially going for a walk, just stuff like this that I do most days. That's been really impactful for my routine, really game changing. I obviously added all these one at a time kind of thing, but that's where I'm at now. Pretty crazy to think, like if you told Brian like 2 years ago, he would have been like, what? You wake up, get a coffee, go for a walk, write in your journal and do some yoga, and that's normal for you? That's what he would be thinking. And that just means I've come a long way, and that's awesome. But then the transition from brain on to off, I want to be a 1 time a day thing. Whatever it is, I end my workday at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or whatever I'm doing, it ends at X time. And it's not as much specific about what time it has to be, but the fact that it happens 1 time, that's what really matters to me. Some days it may be earlier. Some days I may be super busy until 10 p.m. That's not ideal. I can't do that every day, but I understand I can't control my life down to the minute, and that's fine. But then I guess the next step, the next consideration that is required, or maybe like not a next step, but a simultaneous step, is really beginning to understand which actions of mine, which things I want as a part of my routine require me to be in productive mode, and which things that I think are good for me / I want in my life require me to not be in productive mode, and allow my brain to turn off and relax properly. So what I don't want to do is get in the habit of doing productive things unknowingly, meaning like I don't think of it as a productive thing, but perhaps it is, at 9 p.m. So that's what I've got on my mind, I guess, moving forward, is just having a more clear compartmentalized part of my day where I'm productive here, not productive here, and what slots in there. And I use the word productive. I think it's fine to use whatever word you want, but the whole idea is simple. There's times where my brain, I want it to be motivated and firing, and there's times where I want it to be able to just relax and exist and enjoy life for what it is and live in the moment and all that kind of stuff. So it can not just be brain off in regards to sit there watching something. Like I consider, like I went to the casino and had fun yesterday because I do a casino night with my girlfriend once a month. For me, like going to the casino is an example of getting to turn my brain off. That's just something you have fun with. Really any fun, lighthearted experience, I would say, is something where you kind of just get to turn your brain off. I'd almost say it's more like autopilot rather than turning your brain off. But yeah, you get the idea, I hope. But yeah, that's it for this week. I will be recording these while I'm in Sweden. It's quite easy to keep up with this. Feel free to come join the Discord, guys. The Discord's in the link below, in the description below. I'm going to be trying to make more happen around there. And also, I'm going to be working on my website. That's something I wanted to mention. I already have a website. I just haven't done a great job myself of coordinating with the people that helped me out in terms of maintaining it and consistently updating it to what I want it to be. But yeah, a lot of things going on right now. I feel like they're all very wholesome things. When I feel like there's a bunch of good things I've got going on, that's kind of like a symbol or an indicator to me that I am being productive and I'm in a good headspace and it doesn't feel overwhelming or stressful. It's just like, I've got that too, and that too, and that seems nice. And rather than like, oh shit, I gotta go do that. Oh shit, I gotta go do that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, including future Brian. See you guys later, and see you next week. Mwah. I just blew a kiss to myself.